Well, joining us on the line right now on this Good Friday is Father Johnathan Morris, Fox News contributor and director of the Catholic channel over on Sirius XM. Father Johnathan, thank you for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. We wanted to have you on today because, really, I think that sometimes we forget what Easter is all about. I mean, for a lot of people, it's, we're going to dye some Easter eggs. Maybe we'll have some ham with the family. The Easter bunny will come. For other people, it's, hey, let's get away. Let's go on spring break down to the beach. But, help us, if you can today, sort of, get our priorities straight about what Easter really should be.
Absolutely. And I think the answer to that is, what's so good about Good Friday? And what's so good about it is that a man who, as Christians, we believe is not only man, but God-man, that is divine, the Son of God, would be willing to lay down his life for a friend, and that friend being you and me. That is what's so unbelievably good about Good Friday, but also unbelievably solemn, like watching your best friend lay down his life for you. That's in essence, that's what this is all about.
Father Morrison, that's as a Catholic, I often have discussions with my fellow Catholic friends because I sort of take this day, certainly the solemnness that this day represents is important, but I also feel a sense of such love and joy on Good Friday because I wouldn't have had salvation had it not been for the sacrifice that was made. Is it appropriate to actually feel some sense of happiness on a day like this? Absolutely.
But I think it's important also to remember why we're happy, and that's something very solemn, right?
Right. It's a tough thing to balance.
It is, and I think that's why we have traditions. That's why on Good Friday, as Catholics, but also other mainline Protestant traditions and some evangelicals, would make Good Friday a day of fast, a day of penance, a day of remembrance. Just like you can't go out and have a big party when somebody you know is laying their life down for you, and that's exactly what's going on today.
I would note, I follow Pope Francis on the Twitter machine, and about an hour ago he tweeted out, "It's not easy to follow Jesus closely because the path he chooses is the way of the cross." An appropriate message on this day.
It is, and it's pretty neat that Pope Francis is pulling out that Twitter machine on Good Friday, right?
Yeah.
Our guest is Father Johnathan Morris, Fox News contributor, also director of the Catholic channel on Sirius XM, and you can follow him on the Twitter machine too, Father Johnathan, without an H now. It's Johnathan, Jon. Father Johnathan, can I ask you this, because I know that you're a huge follower of pop culture and how it affects us Americans and how we view the world. The Noah movie is out, and there was a lot of discussion about this. First of all, did you see it?
I did.
And what do you think about the quasi-controversy over this? I mean, when I saw it, I was like, okay, it's not meant to be a documentary. It's not meant to be a historical retelling of Genesis. I think whenever Hollywood starts to delve into faith-based stories, it's a good thing.
It is, but I was disappointed. I thought it was just kind of blah. This is something that could have been so good with that much money, $125 million, plus all the marketing and the publicity. That's a lot of money, and with some awesome stars in it, some awesome actors. And I think they tapped into a almost universal interest or curiosity in the Noah story, but then just came up with something that just didn't quite make it. And why didn't it make it? Because it didn't start from the point of view of faith, and so it didn't end up being inspiring. And we don't go to the Bible just for sci-fi, or go there just for entertainment, or just for escapism. People go to the Bible for inspiration and for God revealing himself to us. And they just didn't. I'm not blaming them for not having faith, but that wasn't their starting point. The director himself calls himself an atheist. So it's understandable that they didn't quite get it, but I just wish that they would have brought some people in to give them what I think could have been a better starting point.
Yeah, there's another story going on here in the state of Maryland. We got a woman running for governor who is pushing a death with dignity law as part of her campaign platform. And she says, Maryland needs to be like some other states that have been, Oregon?
Oregon has it, I think.
Vermont has it, I think, yeah. What's your thought about that?
Well, I'm all in favor of death with dignity, but I'm not in favor of us killing each other just when the going gets tough. And that doesn't mean that we should therefore keep people alive for as long as we possibly can with modern technology. But it doesn't mean that we can decide when somebody dies or even when we die ourselves. Of course, anybody can take their life, but we don't want to put in law that it's a good thing or that we should be helping people do it.
Father Morris, there are a lot of lapsed Catholics, lapsed Christians, or Christians that don't go to church on a regular basis. And oftentimes, I know pastors always make a joke on Easter Sunday and on Christmas when they say, "Oh, if only you were here every Sunday," because it's always filled to the brim. This is a big weekend. You've got Good Friday, you've got the Easter Vigil on Saturday, and you've got Easter Sunday Mass. If you were suggesting to someone, hey, it's time to come back, give it a shot, which of the three masses, I know it's hard to ask, but which of the three do you think, if they're going to go to one, which should they go to?
I would say go on a Tuesday of a week that is of no special importance and go into the church and pray. Or go to the Good Friday or go to the Easter Vigil. Go whenever, but go in and pray. Just pray. That's, I think, the greatest invitation back is when God invites you back. I would never make a joke about people being there for the first time. Why? Because I believe that any time somebody goes is a huge step towards God, and that God will take a step towards each and every one of us. And who knows, maybe that one time of the year is more pleasing to God than all the times that I go, which is obviously every day.
That's great. My pastor would always joke on Easter Sunday, when it's people are standing room only and everything, and he would always, when he started the homily, he would say, "Welcome back." Everybody would laugh.
Good to have you. So glad you could find your way to the church. All right. Well, Father Johnathan Morris, thank you so much for joining us. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Blessed Good Friday to both of you, and Happy Easter soon.